There we go. Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Akalon here, and welcome back to each one of you. And of course, if you're watching this over on YouTube, remember to hit the link in the description down below, because it is always better when it's live. Right now, you are watching the VODs. Do you really want to watch the VODs? Or do you want to be part of the conversation? The choice is yours. Hit the link in the description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got home from the gym. I'm tired. I'm battered and bruised. My whole body is fucking sore. I had so much to catch up on. I missed so many days, so I basically put all of the days that I missed into, like, one day. I caught up on literally almost every single muscle group. So tomorrow is chest day. And, my chest is sore. And I didn't even do fucking, like, anything chest, but my chest is sore. So it's gonna be interesting, to say the very fucking least. It's definitely gonna be interesting. But anyways, we're live. It's time to hang out, chat for a bit. I have some tea here, although right now I'm not in the mood for tea. I'm drinking water because I'm thirsty. And then we have some Stormblood to play. You know, we've got to figure out how we're gonna take care of Yatsui. Fucking names, dude. The names in this game is real. I thought the French names was hard. Now we're in the Asian name category. That's even worse. I don't know how to pronounce half of those names. So, you know, I'm assuming it's gonna get even better as time goes on. There's gonna be even less people's names that I can pronounce in this game. So that's gonna be interesting. Oh my fucking hell. We're waiting for people to filter in, to sort of arrive, you know, make themselves known. Until such time, we'll just hang out. Super Cider, how you doing, brother? Yotsuyu. That's the pronunciation. Yotsuyu. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember that. Like, the next time we meet Yotsuyu, I'm gonna forget again, and then I'm gonna say it again, just however the fuck I think it should be said. The names is too hard in this game. The name should be cut back. It should be easier. Why not just call her Yotsu? You know? That's a nice, easy name to remember. Just quick and easy, Yotsu. Or even Suhu would be easy to remember. But Yotsuyu is not easy to remember. It's completely out of my vocabulary. It's just strange. I don't know what to make of it. All the FOMO. I quickly have to do something. I promised that I would run a poll, actually. Arcurian, how you doing, brother? Thanks for the first time chat. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Well, so long as you're okay. Well, what can I say, dude? Eliosha, how you doing? Just quickly making a poll here. Should we play Elden Ring on stream? Poll. Actually, no. I have a better idea. What game should we play next on stream? Alright, so first game, Elden Ring. Second game, Star Wars The Old Republic. Third game, Guild Wars 2. What other games would you like me to play on stream? Though I find those names fairly easy to understand. How? Super Cider. Explain that. How do you find them easy to understand? Are you Asian? Well, in order to understand most of the names in Final Fantasy, you'd need to be Asian and French. Oh, you watch a lot of anime. That makes more sense. I don't watch anime at all. So many of these names is literally the first time I've ever heard them. So I'm okay with the pronunciations. Guild Wars 2 is fun to play, but I don't know if it is fun to watch. Nixie, how you doing? Crash the Fool, how you doing, bro? Dragon Age series, maybe? Made by BioWare? I mean, I've already played the Dragon Age series. The only one I haven't finished within Dragon Age is Dragon Age Inquisition. But I have already played them. I can add it. Let's say... Dragon Age series. What else? So the... Hello, first time seeing a stream. Namria, how you doing? Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the first time chat. Really appreciate that. So the options right now for the next game that we play on stream is Elden Ring, Star Wars The Old Republic, Guild Wars 2, and Dragon Age series. Horizon Forbidden West, is that available on PC? I think it's currently just available on PlayStation, no? It has to be a PC game. I don't own a PlayStation. Well, I have a PlayStation 4, but it's not even plugged into anything. Horizon Zero Dawn, we could also add to the list. Is that the last game? Because there's only one more game that I can add to this list. I have one more game. I have a spot for one more game. The options right now is based on the amount of people that have asked me for it. There's a ton of people that asked me to play Elden Ring. There's a ton of people that asked me to play Star Wars The Old Republic. There's a ton of people that asked me to play Guild Wars 2. And there's been people who asked for Dragon Age. So, FF7 Remake. I'm going to be a dork and say Swatter because I play. Bad Gamer, it's already on the list. Star Wars The Old Republic. So just before we get into it, the purpose of playing these videos on stream is ultimately to make videos and sort of rank them. So playing these games is literally so that I can go, okay, how do these games stack up? Specifically the MMOs, I'm probably not going to make videos on Elden Ring or Dragon Age series unless I set a new channel up where we sort of go into retro gaming, which of course we could do. A new retro Acco or some shit like that. Whatever I want to call that channel, we'll figure it out. But there I could sort of go and say, okay, games like Dragon Age, is it still worth a play after this many years of it basically, you know, being out already? I could play Mass Effect again, although I've played that so many times I can make a video out of my fucking head. I thought you were asking what you should play. No. We're obviously going to be playing Final Fantasy XIV still, because I'm still busy playing it and I still love it. But at some point, we will take a break from Final Fantasy XIV and we'll move to a different game to give that a try and see how that goes. Since most MMOs, I want to try and do basically what I've done for Final Fantasy XIV. You know, as I'm playing Final Fantasy XIV, I'm making videos about Final Fantasy XIV and my experiences in the game. So I'll do the same thing for Star Wars The Old Republic. I'll do the same thing for Guild Wars 2. Just basically my thoughts on whether or not these games are good. How do they stack up? You know, with Final Fantasy XIV, we could only really ever compare it to WoW, because that's the only other MMO that I've really played. But when we start playing Star Wars The Old Republic, I'm going to be able to compare it to WoW and to Final Fantasy XIV. So I'd be able to say, hey, you know, this is how it stacks up against those two games. This is what you should know before you can play it. Things like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, if you're looking for MMOs, could try some of the MMOs from Worst MMO Ever. Now, Maria, I wouldn't really just copy paste Josh. Josh is a god at what he does. I wouldn't presume to be able to copy him. Black Desert is a game that we could probably put on the list as well. Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. They were originally going to make an MMO of it. I've played Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Crash the Fool. I have played that. That would also fall more into the retro gaming. Even though it is a remake, I'd still put that in the retro gaming section. If I ever make a channel for retro games. Still salty that MMO never came to be. Dude, I'm still salty about how Kingdoms of Amalur played out. It started so well, and then it seems like halfway through they just lost interest. Because it wasn't a bad ending. It's not a bad game. It's a brilliant game. But it started with so much promise. And then it ended sort of just like, who gives a shit, you know? Lumi Red, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Little to offer since I mainly play PlayStation games. That's fine. That is fine. Let's keep it for now on these four. Elden Ring, Star Wars, Old Republic, Guild Wars 2, and Dragon Age, the Dragon Age series. That I think should be fine. Let's keep it at that. And let's see what people vote. If I add more games to the list, it's going to be a difficult list to follow. So this should be fine. There we go. Okay, the voting is live on YouTube. If you want to go vote, it's in the community pad or panel over on YouTube. Oh my god, boys. So what's everyone up to? I literally just got home from the gym, so I'm just hanging out, like waiting for my muscles to not be sore. And then we'll probably get into some shenanigans soon. Is chat dead? I think chat died. Or is it too early? It is kind of early. Trying to figure out which game to play today. What's the options? I like how you organized your stuff behind you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Organize is maybe a strong word. I would say organize is a very strong word, Lumi. I just sort of fucked everything on there. There's no real organizational structure on that bookcase behind me. I found a couple of shops. It's a little whiles away from me, but there's a couple of shops that I want to go visit to buy more shit to put on there to replace the sort of boxes with crap, like that box there, or that box there, or that box there, that way, that box there, that box there. Hey boss, how's the train chugging? The train's just fucking going, bro. Like it's all aboard, choo choo, motherfuckers. No, I'm just hanging out right now. Dude, I am so chilled. You have no idea. So today was rough at the gym because I missed so many days. I had to catch up. So today, basically, I fucked my whole body. I started out with deadlifts, went straight to squats. Yeah, went straight to squats, and then finished with shoulders. Nixie, thank you so much for the 5 community subs. Really appreciate it. Can we get some hearts in chat? People giving money away. It's raining money, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm about to cash in. I really appreciate it, Nixie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm about to get my kids. Akalon has become my afternoon entertainer while making daily chores. Bro, that is awesome. I love that. Peter Skunk Ape. Dude, I haven't seen you in a fucking age. How you doing, brother? Inquisitorium, how you doing, bro? Yeah, come on, big fan of your YouTube channel, Typhoon. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, dude. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the first time chat. Very happy to have everyone here. We're having so many fucking new faces every single stream. I love it. It's absolutely amazing to see all this, all the new people filtering in. New degenerates ready for the grinder. It's awesome. You know, good luck. This channel can get spicy. Chat can lose control often. But, you know, I'm sure you'll be fine. Looking forward to seeing you playing. What's coming next in FF14? Oh, right. For a second there, I thought, what's coming next? Is that like a special thing that's coming? That I'm going to be playing in FF14? But you mean just to see what is next for Stormblood? Dude, I just want to know, when do we get to kill Evil Mommy? She is hot, but she is so evil. So I really just want to know, when do we get to kill her? As if I can control you, Inquisitorium. Like, sure. Yeah, Akalon keeps the peace. Of course I do. Who? Evil Mommy, Jolene. Yeah, Jesus, don't make me say her name. Yotsuyu, I think is how you pronounce her name. Hope your morning was decent. And Veria, how you doing, brother? We just yesterday made Yotsuyu, and it was a confusing meet. I'm gonna be honest. Like, one part of my brain was like, this, she is evil as fuck. The other part of my brain was, she is also hot as fuck. So, maybe I can bend the rules a little, you know? Well, correct. Thank you very much. I can't take any real credit for it. Super Cider actually helped me in the beginning of the stream with the pronunciation of Yotsuyu. That name. Right on, Akalon, you're getting it right. Dude, I'm gonna forget it again. Don't even worry about it. I'm gonna forget it again. The names are weird. It doesn't irk me. She is bitchy and violent. Yotsu is actually one of the best written villains in FF14. Namria, I would say, I wouldn't agree. And not because she's not a brilliantly written villain, but actually almost every villain so far in Final Fantasy XIV follows the same kind of writing introduction. The villains in Final Fantasy XIV aren't just straight up villains. We actually spoke about this last night. They present every single... Like, Final Fantasy doesn't have any 2D characters. Which is actually... You have to think about this. Most games... So if you play World of Warcraft, for example, the vast majority of characters in World of Warcraft is incredibly two-dimensional. The characters have basically a forward-facing demeanor, and what you see is what you get. When they have bad guys in World of Warcraft, the bad guys are generally speaking like just pure bad guys with very little nuance behind them. In World of Warcraft, the 3D characters is usually the exception, not the rule. With the exception of a couple of characters that does have some depth to it. But, you know, the heroes are basically the heroes always. Take a character like Anduin. Anduin is this goody two-shoes character with zero bad boy anywhere in his character whatsoever. He is just the quintessential nice guy that you meet on Tinder. Like, Anduin is genuinely the kind of guy that you should not swipe right on Tinder, because he is that quintessential nice guy. Just puts a good foot forward. There's literally no layers to the character whatsoever. And then you go to Final Fantasy XIV, and almost every single one of their characters is 3D. The characters have good elements to them, but they also have weaknesses. They also have clear bad elements to their personalities. They have issues. They have doubts. They have moments of weakness. There's constantly a lot of depth provided to the characters. And I would actually say Final Fantasy does a worse job with their quote-unquote heroes than what they do with their villains. Like, a lot of the heroes in Final Fantasy also goes a little bit 2D at times. You know, take something like Minfilia, Lys, for example. Very good characters. You know, like, the depth isn't necessarily established. Now, of course, we've only just started playing the story of Lys, so there is probably still going to be a lot to uncover there, because Lys is a brand new character. There's not been much time with Lys, really. But their villains, on the other hand, always make you think. There's always that moment within every single villain where they display some nuance of humanity, some nuance of rationality, some nuance of perhaps what I'm doing, perhaps there's a reason for the stuff that I'm doing. And maybe you don't agree with what I'm doing, right? Or with how I'm doing it, but you must agree with why I'm doing it. Take the Guardians, for example. We all agree that what the Guardians are doing is probably the right thing to do. We should stop the primals. The primals are a threat, and if you can stop the primals, that is almost always a win for everyone. What we don't agree with is how Garlemald deals with the threat. You see, Garlemald employed a quote-unquote final solution to the primal threat. And we're more on the side of saying, maybe a final solution isn't the right solution. Like, you're just causing more problems than what you're ultimately solving. It makes it hard to hate the characters. Because the characters, the villains are presented with humanity. There's humility and humanity within these characters. And while a lot of Garlemald is just arrogant sons of bitches, you know, and you hear this with some of the, I would actually say, they do this incredible thing where the people who serve Garlemald, like the ordinary Garleans, they are very arrogant and very sort of, we're better than everyone else, screw everyone else. But then you go to their leaders. So, for example, the new Legatus. Is it called the Legatus? Who's the guy at the top of the food chain in Garlemald? What are they called? The Emperor, right? One to Django. Thank you for the follow, dude. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's called the Emperor, correct? The new Emperor. What's his name? Gravel Shuffle, yeah, it is. So may I ask, what are your thoughts on Gaius? Gaius was an interesting character, but I didn't get to see much of him. You know, Gaius von Balzar was there and then sort of right at the end, they brought him back. So he presented himself as just a pure bad guy. But then when he saw the destruction that he had wrought, you heard in his voice, this was never what I planned. I didn't want to wreak this much havoc, this much destruction, which was really interesting. Maria the Pigeon, how you doing? Okay, so it's Varus Zos Galvus. So the Emperor is actually not that arrogant. It's like the Emperor understands that this isn't about strength or might or destruction. We have a mission and we need to complete that mission. The ordinary Garleans, yeah, they're fucking arrogant pieces of shit because things have gone so well for them for so long and they've been this conquering army for so long that no one can stand against that it doesn't even matter. But then you look at someone like Varus Zos Galvus and you go, all right, there's nuance. This is a very nuanced character, which is interesting. Apocalypse, what was his first time message? What was he writing? Apocalypse, how you doing, bro? Gaius von Balzar would be my preferred emperor. I don't know if I'm still going to learn more about Gaius von Balzar. I like Varus. As a villain, I like him. He's got that suave, sort of extremely elegant way of speaking. His words and the way he says things doesn't match what he says. And that is incredible. MK15, how you doing, brother? I'm very good. Thank you very much for asking. Someone else asked, how was the gym? The gym was really good. I'm tired, but it's good to be back. It's fucking good to be back in the swing of things. Can't wait for tomorrow. That's a mini Galilean. They believe they're all better than everyone else, and everyone else is a savage. Well, yes, but like I said, you go to their leaders, and their leaders, while they may believe that, doesn't necessarily allow anyone else, or doesn't necessarily look down on anyone else. I'm reminded of the scene where those Almegan betrayers, what was her name? That girl, you meet her right in the beginning in Alamigo. You see her. She's actually Alamegan, but she's working for the Galileans. Is it Fordola? It could be Fordola. She's got like a sort of barbarian outfit going. But, okay, for Dola, she wanted to speak. She had a plan. And one of the Gaulean generals sort of said, listen here, shut the fuck up. You don't speak here. The very fact that you are in this room is, you know, tolerable at best. You shouldn't even be in this room. But, you know, don't speak. And Varys, the emperor, is like, hold up. I want to hear what she has to say. So it shows a different kind of character, you know? It definitely shows a different sort of character trait. And I love how they explore the character traits of their quote-unquote bad guys in Final Fantasy XIV. Obviously, I don't yet know how all of that is going to play out or what we're going to be seeing still. But it's still awesome how they present it. That was Xenos, though, or wasn't it? I don't know if it was... I don't know who that fucking guy's name is. Whoever the current emperor is, the son of Gaius. Whoever that guy is. The guy that speaks suavely. Clips are up with thumbs. I see you've misunderstood my message on Discord. What do you mean misunderstood your message on Discord, Alex? Is the guy in Alamigo the Viceroy? Oh, Alex, yeah. I did ask you. Okay, I see it here. Thank you very much, Alex. I really appreciate that. All right, I'm quickly making these videos live, or scheduling them at least. Because we've got a fuck ton of clips again. I don't know if you've seen, I've uploaded even more clips, Alex. Yeah, well, it was 2.5 hours, Alex. So I wouldn't be surprised that it's still uploading. That was one of the longest React videos I think we've ever done. I think that is a new record. All right, well, I like the Viceroy. Whoever the fuck the guy is that I met in Alamigo, I like that guy. This is scheduled for 6 p.m. So then this one must be scheduled for 7 p.m. Sorry, chat. You guys are part of the fucking team now. All right, the other 2 videos, Alex, can go to tomorrow. Yeah, the Square Enix will destroy themselves with NFTs, and the WoW Season 4 changes has to go today as well. On your head ranting. That's fine, Alex, that's fine. All right, this one has to go up today as well. So there's going to be 4 videos today. Unless I move... Wait, I'll move one of the videos over. Never mind. I can figure this out. I'll move one of the videos over for tomorrow. That should give us still 2 videos for tomorrow. And then we just need 1 more video for tomorrow. And then everything else can go. I want to change this title. No, that's not going to work. That's not gonna work. That's gonna work.
Varys you had met in Heaven's Ward, in the Sea of Clouds, threatening the Vanu. It had a really weird hat. The guy in Alamhigo is Zenus, Varys' son.
There we go. Okay, okay. Well, I liked Varys as well. Drayan, how you doing, brother? Pardon the question, but what do seasons mean in WoW? Dude, do not fucking ask. Do not ask questions that you do not want the answers to. Like, don't even fucking go there. What do seasons mean in an MMO? Why would an MMO have seasons? It already has expansions and patches. But seasons is effectively World of Warcraft's answer to DLCs or battle passes. That's basically what it is. It's the ability to take old content, slap a season sticker on it, and say, "Hey, guess what? This is brand new." I'll talk about it in a second. Let me just set up this video because it has to be up in about half an hour. So let me just get this video sorted, and then we can talk about the seasons. I kind of get the feel of what they are. No, I'll explain it to you in a moment. I just want to get this video up. Otherwise, I'm going to forget, and then we're going to miss out the train, and that's going to be a fuck up. All right, so the clip that I'm moving to tomorrow, Alex, is Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood really that bad? And I'm moving it to tomorrow, 5 p.m. So that will go live tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'm then keeping the NFTs will kill Square Enix video for tomorrow as well. And then the Season 4 video can now go up at 6. Yeah, can now go up at 6 today. Good. That leaves us with 2 videos for tomorrow already. Okay, so Drayan, you asked what are seasons in World of Warcraft? So since Mythic Plus came out, Blizzard effectively dreamt up this so Blizzard dreamt up this weird seasonal system. The problem that I have with the seasonal system is it would have made sense if there were actual leaderboards and like something that people could actually compete with. So seasons have always existed in World of Warcraft for the PvP arena stuff. So every single arena season that used to exist, everyone would reset back to 0, and you would have to work your arena rating back up to whatever number, right? And then if you got to, I think, 2,400, you would qualify as Gladiator, and at the end of the season, you would get the Gladiator rank, as well as a mount and all sorts of goodies. So it's always made sense for the PvP season, because PvP is very similar, or it's very closely related to something like esports, and therefore, it always made sense in PvP. It, to some extent, does make sense in Mythic Plus, only it feels underbaked in Mythic Plus. It feels like it needs more to be an actual season, to actually qualify as a season. I'm not saying I'm against seasonality, but I would have added more things to the seasons so that it makes more sense, so that there's actually... For example, right now, I believe with seasons, it really only plays into your favor getting plus 15 on everything. Whereas, I don't know if that's changed, but do you get more points in WoW if you do, like, say, plus 20 or plus 25 Mythic Pluses? Or do the points end at plus 15? Because that's how it used to work. It used to work, the highest you can go is plus 15, and going higher than plus 15 didn't really make much of a difference. You do now? Okay, that's actually very good. That's actually very good, because that means that you are now actually fighting for the top spot in terms of PvE, getting to the top. I actually think this arena season, or this new season in WoW, is the best one yet. Because for the first time ever, they're not just using the current dungeons in World of Warcraft, for whatever the current expansion is. They're bringing in old dungeons from older expansions, and those are the dungeons on rotation, which I actually think is brilliant. World of Warcraft has so many really awesome dungeons. If you go to dungeons like Mist of Pandaria, for example, there's some really awesome dungeons in Mist of Pandaria. There's some really awesome dungeons in Wrath of the Lich King. TBC even has some really fun dungeons. If you make a couple of changes, you could really turn them into good Mythic Plus dungeons. So there's a ton of content that Blizzard can draw from. And for the first time ever, the rotation for Mythic Plus is going to be unique in that it's going to be brand new dungeons that you haven't done in a really long time. Because remember, World of Warcraft doesn't have what you guys have in Final Fantasy XIV, which is minimum item level, no echo. We don't have that. In World of Warcraft, if it's an old dungeon, it doesn't matter anymore. Very few people do it unless it's what's the time, like Time Walking Week. So if it's that expansion's Time Walking Week, people may still go back and do those dungeons, but most of those dungeons are just ridiculously easy because the scaling doesn't really work. So you end up smashing things that usually would have presented somewhat of a problem. You know which dungeons I would love to see in a Mythic Plus rotation? Old school Cataclysm dungeons. Do you guys remember the old school Cataclysm dungeons before the nerfs? Like, some of those dungeons were fucking rough. It was like the first time ever that CCs and things were so important in dungeons, because most of the trash packs you couldn't pull you couldn't just pull all of them and fucking kill all of them. They would slaughter you. So you would usually have like CC rotations. This guy has to be CC'd the whole time until we kill this guy, and then you can un-CC this guy. It was so fucking cool. So I would love to see some of the Cataclysm dungeons make their way back into the seasons, because those were actually really, really fun. The one thing that I wish comes out of this season... Now, before we even get into it, let's be clear on why Blizzard is doing this. Blizzard is doing this because for the first time in their history, Blizzard has actual competition. If Blizzard once again did what they always do with content droughts, which is basically let the player eat the content drought, people would leave. And Blizzard can't afford to lose more players. So for the first time ever, they're actually giving people post-content content. Because all the content in Shadowlands is basically done now. There is no more content to come. There's a patch 7.2.5, which historically have always been a balancing patch. Our 0.5 patches in World of Warcraft are balancing patches. They don't introduce new content. But 7.2.5 actually, 9.2.5 actually this time gives new content for people to do. Like, there's new quest lines and new old world stuff that people are going to have to go do. And then the new season that comes brings new dungeons. What do I want to see after that? As soon as those dungeons are retired from the Mythic Plus season, those dungeons should stay within the Mythic Plus rotation. They should still be available for Mythic Plus. What I would ultimately like to see is a variation in how Blizzard does it. So do Mythic Plus dungeons non-ranked and Mythic Plus dungeons ranked. Ranked Mythic Plus dungeons, you have 8 dungeons to choose from, some from older expansions, some from the current expansion, like on a rotation. Unranked Mythic Plus dungeons, same thing, you're still doing all the Mythic Pluses, you're still going through it, but all of the dungeons that are brought back in seasons remain active within the unranked as Mythic Plus dungeons that people can go do. So say Season 5 comes out, you can still do Return to Karazhan as a Mythic Plus. There's so much content that Blizzard can draw from, and they don't have to invent any new content. They don't have to make anything new. It's already there. Just go back and get it, fetch it, bring it into the new expansion. Everyone is happy. So I really hope that this isn't going to be another sort of Mage Tower fiasco, where they bring the Mage Tower back, but then they put it on a massive timer because it's all FOMO shit, where it's going to disappear. And then finally they realize, wait a second, but people are angry that we removed it. Okay, we'll give it back to you. It's like, no, just don't remove shit. You don't need to build stuff for FOMO. Just give people stuff to play. They'll figure out how to fucking play the game. You don't have to worry about it. You know? I wish that the raids this season is also being updated with a new affix. So all of the raids that was in Shadowlands is going to be current and still doable in the new season. All of this is changes that I'm 100% on board with. I think these are good changes. I like the fact that these changes are in the game. It gives people stuff to do. But I want to see more. Ferorius, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Did really appreciate that. 33 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are far too kind, giving me all your fucking money. I love it. Thank you. But yeah, all in all, I don't know if that makes sense. Drayon, does that explain seasons to you a little? Content availability is very new to me. Final Fantasy being my first step into modern-ish MMOs. Oh yeah, Drayon, if you started with Final Fantasy 14, you have no idea what WoW is. Dude, they already have it. Inquisitorium. Blizzard could absolutely make a racing game within World of Warcraft. You have the gnomes and you have the goblins. Both of them build cars or motorcycles. So you have those two, set them up somewhere in Tanaris with a racetrack, and let people go out and build their own motorcycle or their own car and race in World of Warcraft just for fun. Grollerino? Grollerino. I'm gonna go with Grollerino. Thank you so much for staying on up, dude. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is very much appreciated, bro. I get the general view of it now. Thanks for the explanation. Sorry for going off on a tangent. That happens. So I'm glad that you got it. But yeah, I think, look, ultimately, I want more great games. Yeah, but Alex, the problem with the Darkmoon Faire is that it's only available certain times of the year. And I would like to see a system that is implemented that is actually kept up to date. So you build your own car, you can race your own car, you can have fun against other people that also like racing, you know? So I would like to see Blizzard add more casual-friendly content to the game that isn't on a FOMO timer. The Darkmoon Faire as well should be open non-stop. It should be open non-stop. There shouldn't be a closing moment and then the Darkmoon Faire isn't available. Just keep it open. Keep it there always. I agree with you. I haven't been to the Darkmoon Faire, so I don't even know about the racing thing. I was there. The last time I went to the Darkmoon Faire was, I think, WoD. Or maybe in Legion. I went there for a bit. I remember playing that game where they shoot you out of a cannon. And you have to sort of aim for stuff. I did that a million times for the achievement. But that was really the only thing I did in the Darkmoon Faire. And then I fucking left. But yeah, I think content like that is good. Content like that is what keeps casuals coming back. I saw today someone on Twitter actually talking like... So Blizzard is implementing a system in 925 on the PTR already, where you can turn like weaker pieces of gear into tier sets. And someone on Twitter went, "Oh my god, this is great news for casuals." And I thought, dude, that's not what casuals are. Do you really believe that the ability to have tier set from weaker pieces of gear is what casuals care about? Casuals don't give a shit about tier set gear. Some casuals might, casual raiders. But this is good news for casual raiders. This is not good news for casuals. Like people who just want to be in the world. They don't care about raids. They don't care about dungeons. They want to collect mounts. They want to collect, fun stuff. not necessarily good for them. Yeah, it's a catch-up mechanic, but again, it's a catch-up mechanic for casual players. Casual raiders specifically. It's not, but it seems like in World of Warcraft, so many people don't even know what casual content means. And it makes sense to me. If you've never played Final Fantasy XIV, you have no idea what casual content is all about. Dr. Cream Soda, how you doing, brother? You just don't. I'm sorry. If you've never actually played Final Fantasy XIV, you have no idea. Because that is a game that takes casual content creation to the next fucking level. It's interesting to me. I made a video. We uploaded a video about the war in Ukraine. Because one of the viewers asked me about the war in Ukraine. And there are people who dislike the fact that I don't care. I don't watch. I don't watch the news. Like, obviously, I care that I care about the Ukrainian people and their suffering. I mean, I don't watch the news. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. There's actually people here that's going, dude, how the fuck can you not care? Fuck you. I'm like, dude, I don't want to watch the news. People are suffering right now in Ukraine. I know that. I don't need to watch the news to know how much they're suffering. That's just gonna bring me fucking down. I want to see what Akko will think of treasure maps. Cranky Palico, how you doing, brother? Oh yeah, hello trailer ad and hey sub. Digitmark, how you doing, brother? I'm really hoping Microsoft can fix the issues within Blizzard, because I have no faith Blizzard themselves are willing or capable of unfucking what they fucked up. Their heads are so far up their own asses, I am shocked they don't suffocate. Bro, so true. Clean, how you doing? Digit, how you doing? Cranky, how you doing? I hope everyone is doing well. Very happy to have all of you here. I don't know if, like, I think if there's anyone that can save it, it is obviously going to be Microsoft. Because Microsoft doesn't seem to care that much about this kind of bullshit. Agree with you about that. And when someone asks, why don't you care? I'm like, what can I do when I know it? What good will it give me? I get that some people care about this shit and there's people that's watching the news 24/7, but I don't want to be one of those people. I have shit to do. Like games to play and streams to make. Treasure maps are pretty bog. I'll give anything a go. I'm gonna try to give everything a go in FF14. Eventually. People always trying to mold over something. Would they rather you spout off without a formulated opinion? They'd be offended either way. No worries, mate. Dude, I don't give a fuck about people being offended. I genuinely don't give a fuck. Wait, what is Diadem's original version? I can't stand those people who literally never ever talked or cared about Ukraine in their life, and now suddenly it became the fight of their life, virtue signaling at its finest. Dude, it's interesting to me how many foreign policy experts there are on Twitter nowadays. Twitter was filled with science experts and experts on virology and experts on viruses, and suddenly now, Twitter is filled. Those same people also happen to have degrees in foreign policy. Ukraine is heartbreaking, but I do not understand why everyone wants to discuss Ukraine, but not any of the other countries or people suffering from war right now. Also, if you're going to get upset because someone isn't talking about Ukraine, I'd ask why they're not talking about the other countries as well. Does that mean they don't care about them? Dude, it's an easy virtue signal. You go on Twitter, you tell people how sad you are for the people in Ukraine. That, of course, does nothing to help the people in Ukraine, but you've done your bit. You know, it must have been hard for you to type those letters. OG was a field dungeon where you could kill mobs and gather materials. It was quite boring. But they brought it back, so it seems like there were some people who liked it. A drip of unknown quantity. Apocalypse, I like that. It's great in its current iteration. Like, it really does seem like Yoshi P and his team understands what players want. Like, they know when is the right time to basically remove certain types of content, when is the right time to add certain types of content, and they also seem to know very well when certain types of content isn't going to work for whatever reason.
Skyrim was a really, really bad Eureka. It was completely removed from the game, and then it got reworked into a Gatherer's Eureka.
That's actually nice. All people suffering from war, or you're just virtue signaling by policing someone else? Dude, war sucks, but people seem to forget the fact that war is as old as humanity itself. Just because the world has known relative peace for a really long time doesn't mean that war is out of our systems. We are a warlike nation or species. We like war. It was inevitable. It was going to happen eventually again. And people are acting as if, oh my God, how could it ever happen in our lifetimes? And it's like, dude, we're probably the first generation ever that didn't go through massive war. You know, it was bound to happen again. Maybe after Microsoft officially takes over and starts to impact WoW, I'll be willing to give it another shot. I just can't stand anything WoW at this point. Sure, the raids are cool and the dungeons are fun, but as a first-time player experience, it's terrible. Now, Maria, as someone who used to play World of Warcraft literally most of my adult life, actually all of my adult life, I started playing World of Warcraft at the age of 21 or 22. Oh, was I 22, 23, thereabouts? It definitely wasn't 21. At 21, I was still drinking like a fish. Let's say 22, 23, maybe? I'd stretch it to 24, but I think I started before 24. I'm now 37, and I've been playing literally non-stop that whole time. So almost all of my adult life, I've played World of Warcraft, and right now, when people ask me about lore in World of Warcraft, I want to fucking claw my balls out. I genuinely grab my balls and rip them off. I don't want to talk about WoW. There's very small elements within the World of Warcraft lore that I still care about. We started doing a series about World of Warcraft, the What If series. I'm busy writing the next script for that one. That's actually quite fun because it allows me to go to the lore that I still love, you know, the old school WoW lore, and do what ifs. What if this never happened? What if this actually did happen? So I get to spend some time in the old stuff, and I still like the old stuff. But anyone that asks me any question about Shadowlands, my fucking, like, my blood pressure immediately goes up. Because I don't see how anyone can even think that this game is good enough to talk about. Videos and stuff you like? Exactly, Death Knight. But what big titty streamer are you going to make me watch? So that you can spam that. Like the what if idea, it's interesting. I think so. I'm currently literally just having fun with the main channel. The Clips channel is its own thing, you know? It does what it does. Who gives a shit? The Clips channel goes on. The Reaction channel does what it does. Who gives a shit? It does its thing. It's doing actually pretty well. I'm actually surprised at how well the Reaction channel is doing. If I'm not mistaken, let me just see. Yeah, for example, I have my videos on the Reaction channel. I have 400 and something subscribers on the Reaction channel, and almost every single one of my videos gets like 1,600 views, 900 views, 1,900 views, 2,500 views, 4,300 views, 2,700 views, 1,000 views, 2,000 views, 7,000 views. 1,000 views. So the videos do really well on the reaction channel. So the clips channel and the reaction channel does its thing. The main channel is just sort of, you know, it's whatever I like talking about that goes on to that channel. Okay, so I'm playing the ads right now to ensure that we don't get ads later on, because we're probably going to start getting into some discussions and stuff soon, and I don't want you guys to miss it. So don't worry. In about 4 minutes, I'm going to play more ads. If you want to go grab a coffee during that time, go for it. You're more than welcome to do so. I am playing the ads right now to ensure that you don't get interrupted with ads later on. When WoW went Fairy, Celestial Calamity, otherworldly horror type of story, it felt like there's nowhere to go from there. I don't know what they're going to do with the next one. How do you bring it back from... like, how are you going to bring it back from Shadowlands and make it interesting for people? I'm not sure how that's going to work. Yeah, you should have Adblock, by the way. Download Adblock and don't even care about the ads. Or sub to the channel. If you're subbed, you're not going to get ads. If you don't want to sub, that's perfectly fine. Get yourself an ad blocker. It does the same thing. It's the same thing and cheaper, because you don't have to pay for ad blocker. So if you don't want to give me money for hookers and coke, you're more than welcome to just get a free ad blocker. Oh, Crash the Fool, ads are useless. I play the ads just so that the ads don't interrupt the conversation. I don't play the ads for money. They are absolutely useless. On my best months, and I'm talking about months where we had, in December, we had an average viewership of about 300 viewers per stream. And on that month, I made something like $38. Like $38 for the whole month. It's like, okay, great. Like, this is a waste of fucking money and time. Like, why am I doing this? Why must this happen? But yeah, you can throw a Prime sub my way. I'll take that money too. Or you can just get an ad blocker. That's because people have ad blockers on. And it's not really. I know that most of the Twitch streamers complain that the money from ads is really bad. Farron Lightning, you bastard. Thanks for the 2 months. I did really appreciate it. 3 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Admit it, Farron Lightning. You were looking at another 8 ads and you were going, fuck that, I'm just going to pay the money. Right? That's why that happened. Oh my god, I hate when ads ruin a good part of the stream. That's why I play them, to ensure that you don't, like, it doesn't ruin a nice conversation that we may be having. Marmalade, how you doing, brother? First time in chat. Happy to have you here, dude. Been binge watching your stuff on YouTube. Some amazing videos. I'm currently on the fence with Final Fantasy XIV. Getting through A Realm Reborn was painful. Just looking if that was the same for anyone else. Marmalade, let's ask my editor. Alex, what was I like the first time I played Final Fantasy XIV in A Realm Reborn? What was that edit like for you? Did you enjoy editing that? Siri, which does nothing but provide the site servers, etc. It should be 70-30 split in favor of streamers, taking half per sub, too freaking much. Yeah, they take like half per sub for tier 1. And then I don't think it's half for the others. Like for tier 2, I don't think you get... I don't think you get 50% for tier 2, and I don't think you get 50% for tier 3. I can be wrong, but I don't think you do. And then for Prime sub, it's less than 50%. For gifted subs, it's less than 50%. So Twitch takes more money for gifted subs than what you get as a streamer from gifted subs. So it's weird. It's weird how Twitch figures it out. But, 'cause, 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 on the game at the beginning? You want me to watch my very first video on Final Fantasy at the beginning? Alex just said it there. After his edit, so after he edited the video, it was 15 minutes of me complaining about A Realm Reborn. I was complaining about everything. And then I went back and I played A Realm Reborn again. Only this time I focused purely on the story. So I hard focused on the story. And then suddenly the game started to click for me. I started to realize that, oh my god, the story is actually very good. You shouldn't try to rush it. You should get through the story. That's when the game sort of gripped me for the first time. But when I was just playing it like you would play any other MMO, it was hard. But I can tell you, dude, Heavensward will be the thing that wins you over. Finish Heavensward. If by the end of Heavensward you're still not sold, then maybe it isn't your type of game. But believe me, Heavensward will win you over. Apocalypse, it's not just that it changes when you're a partner. I believe you need to have something like when you have 300 or 400 subs. I'm not talking about gifted subs. It has to be pure subs for X amount of months. You can apply for preferred partner status on Twitch. That's when it changes to, I believe, 60-40 or 70-30. That's when you can start making more money off of your subs. Re-Sinning, thanks for the follow, dude. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look, I said this in the beginning, and it makes sense to me now that I'm this far into the game. Final Fantasy XIV very much mimics reality in that when you start out, if you could be a wizard in real life, you're not just instantly going to know how to cast spells. You're not just instantly going to know how to kick ass. Final Fantasy starts you slowly, and it moves you up slowly. Over time, you become the hero that you're supposed to be. That's how Final Fantasy XIV works. What pre-workouts do you recommend? I don't use pre-workout at all, Re-Sinning. My recommendation to you would be carnivore diet. Go on the carnivore diet, stick with meat alone. My brother literally went on the scale today, and he's a thin guy. Like, he's not fat like me. He's just a normal guy. He's lost a shit ton of weight on the carnivore diet. Like, the little weight that he had to lose, like, he's cut and ripped as fuck now. And he thought he was going to be less, and he actually gained 4 kgs. In a short time, we're talking about maybe 2 months that he gained 4 kgs, and those kgs were not gained in fat. There's no fat. Like, if he takes off his shirt, it's fucking six-pack, dude. It's ripped to shreds on the carnivore diet. So if you're on the carnivore diet, don't worry about pre-workouts. The protein is going to take care of itself. Okay, so Alex has our first ever video. Do you guys want to watch the first ever video of a bit of my... The first ever video I made of Final Fantasy XIV. Gone what, over 2 years, then transitioned to keto diet because I love vegetables. Alright, we can watch it. Take that down a bit. Alright, basically it's Akelon reacting to Akelon. This is weird Inception shit, but okay.
Massive shout out to Lenovo for sponsoring this, and more on the Lenovo sponsorship at the end of the video. Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Akelon here. Welcome back to each one of you. And of course, if you're new to this channel, thank you so much for joining us.
I have learned so much so much since I did this for the first fucking, like, when I started doing this, and for so long I didn't focus on shit like this. Why did I ever do this? Why would I start my videos by basically wasting people's time for the first 30 seconds or 45 seconds talking about sponsorships, greeting everyone, telling people to sub? Oh my God. I'm so glad I no longer do that.
I am very happy to have here. Now, full disclosure, we are talking about Final Fantasy XIV, my first impression.
I look different. You seem to look a bit happier here. I go Greenception. Yeah, pretty much, right?
I have over 200 hours in this game, and I am still not done with A Realm Reborn, at least the story part of A Realm Reborn. That'll make sense in a moment. One of the reasons it's taken me over 200 hours just to get done with the basic game is distractions. The game has an abundance of distractions that basically leave you sort of going off the beaten path, like just wanting to check out something else, and that checking out something else turns into
this fucking place wasted so much of my time, dude. I would say almost half of that 200 hours, if not more, went into this fucking place.
Hours of entertainment and fun. For me, it was the Golden Saucer. When I discovered the Golden Saucer, I accidentally happened upon Chocobo racing, and I've been racing my butt off. I've been loving the Chocobo racing. I haven't even gotten to the Chocobo breeding part of Chocobo racing. I've just been racing and upgrading my mount, and I'm having the time of my life.
Yep, I should go back to that.
I'm absolutely enjoying myself doing that. I've even been doing it off stream, you know, and that's rare. I don't often play games off stream, and I found myself.
JCP, thanks for the 2 months up. Did really appreciate that. 2 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So for myself, Yeet, dude, I appreciate the money. I am not going to use it wisely, but I do appreciate it.
Of actually playing this game, even when I'm not streaming, just having a good time in the game. And let's be real. My first playthrough, obviously, there's a couple of other reasons why it's been taking me 200 hours. For one, I have 4 characters that I've started in this game. One is a paladin, one is a summoner, one is a dark knight, and one is now my black mage. The black mage is the character, my main.
That's what I've been sticking with. I fucking love the black mage.
One of the reasons is because I didn't know that you could just do all of the jobs, which are classes in this game, on one character. I thought that they worked the same as every MMO, you know? If you want to play something else, you have to level that something else. And
that was actually very daunting to me, just FYI. When I first got, like, my paladin was the first one I got to Heaven's Ward with. And then I thought, wait a second, if I don't like this paladin, I have to do all of this shit again? I have to go through this whole fucking bland leveling experience again, just so I can get something else. That actually put me off. My original video, I was going to talk about that and say that's why I don't like this game. Because it basically forces you to play through hundreds of hours of boring shit. Now, also remember, I didn't focus on the story at all on my first playthrough. So it was very rough. Because basically Final Fantasy is run around and get story updates. But if you skip all of the story updates, it's basically just run around. You know, you run around, you talk to someone, you skip the cutscene. Then you run to another guy, skip the cutscene. Then run to another guy, skip the cutscene. Then run to another guy, skip the cutscene. You're basically just skipping cutscenes at that point.
I was actually very annoyed by that because I thought to myself, Jesus, I have to do all of this crap every single time I want to get a character to max level. That's insane. That's like a lot of grind just to get a character to max level. Then, of course, I got informed very, very quickly on. Very early on, actually. Hey, you don't have to do that.
Nice.
Just choose the race that you want to play and then play whatever job you want. So that could have saved me a lot of time. Of course, it didn't because I refused to Google anything. But I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of a heads up about this game, sort of before we get into the more like structured stuff of the video. Final Fantasy as a new experience for new people.
JCP, self-funded and now funding others. I really appreciate the 5 community subs, dude. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hearts in chat. Let's go, people. We're getting people to give money away. Cannot dodge. My turn to give back to the community. Dude, I really appreciate that. It is very much appreciated. Whenever people give money away, it is lovely. Freaking Euler. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is a bad video. This is just a bad video. I wish I knew then what I know now. I should have scripted this, actually. Marmalade, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Did really appreciate that. Welcome to the most degenerate chat on Twitch. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is very much appreciated, bro.
People, it's gonna take you a while to get into the game. The game starts off incredibly slow. It really is a proper
dude, happy to have you part of it.
Where there's a lot of running around, there's a lot of sort of downtime. The gameplay is a lot to get used to. And as someone who primarily played World of Warcraft for the majority of my MMO career, I'd say this game came as a bit of a culture shock.
The reason I call it a bad video is because nowadays, almost all of my videos are scripted. I mainly do scripted videos. So this is what my videos look like now. Let's go Word. So let's say the Final Fantasy one, right? So this is the intro. All of that is scripted. What is an MMO? All of that is scripted. The Forgotten RPG, that is scripted. And then here you get to the sort of semi-scripted stuff. So this is where I will talk more naturally about some of the things that is going on and how it pertains to Final Fantasy 14. But I have the list of stuff that I want to include. So whenever I go, what am I supposed to talk about next? I'll quickly glance at the list and I'll be like, oh, that's what I want to talk about next. And then I'll talk about that. And then we go back into full scripted again. And as you can see here, how does Final Fantasy approach each of these factors? That again goes into its own thing. Namria, thanks for the 200 bits. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think this is the first time in my entire life that we've done 3 streams back to back, and in all 3 of these streams, you guys have triggered the Skamar strain. I thank you for the support. I think this is the most that we've ever been able to trigger that Skamar strain. Most of my watch time on YouTube content due to time zone conflict, but hey, I can chirp in before I hit the road. Dude, I appreciate any and all support. Even people who can't support the channel. As long as you can, every once in a while, clip something that's really funny or interesting, share that over on the subreddit, join the subreddit, join Discord. That's all I ask. If you can't afford to be a sub, or you don't want to be a sub, I know there's people who really don't want to give money to people on the internet, and that's fine too. Still happy to fucking have you here. Just, if I say something funny, clip that. Clip it out of context. Do whatever the fuck you want. Your frame is spreading far and wide. My fame, I don't think I'm famous, but I'll take it. But this is how I do my videos now, because it flows better. It feels better when that's how the intro goes, and it's planned out a little bit better. The thing that I'm saving up for now, to save Alex a fuck ton of editing, because this is where Alex hates me, because all of this has to be fully edited. Alex can't show my face during these intros or during these edits or during these scripts because I'm reading the script. So I'm saving up for a projector so that Alex can actually show my face and don't have to do 100% edits on these. But it's definitely, I think the videos have gone up a lot in terms of quality. At least I think so. I might be wrong. Maybe you guys go, what are you talking about, dude? Your videos have just gone downhill. In which case, I'm living in a fucking dreamland. But hey.
A system shock to me. And Alex can put up some of the clips, some of the reels and reels that we have. I think Alex told me he has about 5 minutes of me just complaining about my early levels within Final Fantasy, not liking the game. And there were a bunch of things that I didn't like. But we'll get into that throughout this video. But yeah, Alex, treat them to a bit of my weirdness. just have to say there's a crap ton of things you can choose here. This is not really what I do. What am I choosing? Oh, he's tail. Let's go with a nice thick boy. There we go. It's insane the amount of customization options that exist here. Oh, you can even
Just go option how you doing, bro.
Whoa. Okay.
One eternity later.
It's too much customization. All right, here we go. Into the fucking story, into the fray we go. Let's do this. Let's become weebs. It's genuinely what I think of this game. What am I watching? From an aesthetic perspective, this looks really good. Oh, look at the little fucking driver. All right, I just right off the bat, I need to say, can't see with that thing on. There's no way. Oh my God, his face is so freaky to me. Thank the gods. Oh my God, this is a lot of reading. I think it's still, okay. Is this important for me to know? Can I just click through them? Oh my God, this is a lot of reading. Why did you become an adventurer? Gain power, obviously. Want to break the world? Such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead. Very true, old man. By the way, is this your first trip to Ulda? Yes. Oh, wait. If I just chose yes, does that mean I'm going to get a massive fucking tutorial? It's going to waste my time. Ulda. I don't care, bro. Let's just get into killing shit.
That was
Right,
me in the beginning. I was like, fuck
holy
it.
shit. Can I stop playing now? Oh, no, I'm still watching cutscenes, I suppose. Oh, Ventura over here. Why am I instantly scared? How do I turn this off? I don't care. All right, so I just spent like the first 10 minutes or so in what can only be described as an extremely boring cutscene. There's a couple of things that just break my brain right off the bat. And one of the first ones is the fact that you sort of have these cutscenes where no one is talking, just a bunch of reading. People's lips are moving, their mouths are moving, clearly saying stuff, but it's in the text. It's really game breaking. But okay, let's just get into it. Let's not judge it. I need to turn off these tutorials. Fuck my life. Fine, let's pick up the first quest. I don't care, bro. Just allow me an ability to turn that shit off. There's a lot of cutscenes. I just started the game, and I am a little bit overwhelmed by the sheer amount of cutscenes in this game.
Little that
Did
I know.
accept that quest now?
That
I've
would be
begun
the
a
thing
quest,
that I
okay.
fell in love
More
with
of
most.
It's a lot of dialogue. There's a lot of stuff that I need to read that I'm not reading. An evil little person in the deck collector. All right, it's unreal the amount of fucking cutscenes. Don't know who you are, but I don't think I clicked on you.
What do you guys
Did
think?
I fucking click on you? I was trying to click on the Smith. Another cutscene. I don't care. Just want to kill some stuff and start leveling. Gelther. Gelther does not like the way you are looking at him, but will let him pass if you
You
deliver.
have come from so
Okay.
very far. You have
May
had
I will fucking slaughter you. I am an adventurer. How do I get out of this place now? I'm fucking trapped. The problem that I have with the city right now is that there's no sound, no city sounds. I can hear some water. Maybe it's something. Hold up. Let's just quickly see here. We go to sound settings. Okay, there we go. This definitely helped. I don't know what all this shit means. Where the hell am I going? I genuinely don't know where the hell I am or what I'm doing. I have not fought a single fucking thing, and I've been playing this now for about 40 minutes. Oh, is this the Gladiators Guild? Am I in the Gladiators Guild finally? This is where I want to be. Let's fight. Oh, apparently I'm not allowed to fight yet.
JCP, thanks for the 500, dude. Really appreciate that.
Guildmaster. What up? Am I fighting you? I just want to kill stuff. Have you the strength to live by the sword? Yes. No problemo. And welcome to the... Did I choose Gladiator? What fucking class did we make? Yeah, we did choose Gladiator. Okay, never mind. A lot of epic music playing, but not a lot of epic gameplay going on. I am so lost right now. I have no idea where I'm going. Show me your warmest welcome. Is bow a warm welcome? No, that simply will not serve. Well, fuck you, bitch. That is the warmest I want to give you. All right, Juliana, accept that shit. Oh. Now hurry off, we need those people. So I'm not gonna warm welcome just random people.
I thought you have to do all quests. Like in World of Warcraft, you see a quest, you pick it up. That's how you level. So I thought you have to do all the quests. And all the quests are sometimes so fucking boring. I was genuinely just thinking to myself, what the fuck? I'm running around saying welcome to people. I literally haven't killed a single thing. I've been here for an hour and a fucking half. what the cunt is this game about? Am I going to be max level before I leave the city? Because it was so many quests and none of them give me anything to kill.
There is a lot of legwork in this game. I haven't killed a single thing yet. Well, cutscenes, I did not listen to a fucking word she said. The questing is very boring. It's very much just, look at me, ma, no fucking hands. So just run around and hand things in, which, yeah. I don't know. I based on how much praise that this game gets from the players, I sort of wanted to see more. Let's go. Killing time. Fate joined. I'm helping. What up? I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, that's how it works. So that would be the combat. The combat is boring. I almost would go so far as to say sleep-inducing. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Oh, this is player housing. What up, Mr. Cactor? Look at them standing there pretending to be cacti. Like, that is the funniest shit I've seen all day. Let's see what Lenovo has in store for Africa.
Anyways, you guys can watch the rest of this if you want. I just wanted to show you the bit. That was a short amount. Like, Alex cut this down from, what, 15 minutes to about 5 minutes. Well, the rest of this isn't going to be funny because it's not really, it's just me talking now. The rest of it is literally just me talking.
Right, with that out of the way, let's talk character creation. The character creation is okay. It's not mind-blowing. It's not as if you can...
Yeah, we cut down... I don't know if Alex still has that. Alex, do you still have the 15 minutes of me complaining? Do you still have that around, or did you cut that from your PC already? Because if he still has that, we could probably put together all 15 minutes for you guys as a video. If you guys really want, we'll do 15 minutes of me complaining about my first playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. But yeah, little did I know that some of the things that back then irked me to death would actually become some of my favorite parts of Final Fantasy. The cutscenes, I'm actually now at a point where I don't want to play a game that doesn't have this many cutscenes. Because the cutscenes provide so much of what makes this game great. It is story. It's all about the story. So for me, my entire viewpoint on Final Fantasy changed fundamentally. And I'm glad that it did. Because if I literally kept playing the way that I did, I would most likely have ended up missing out on an incredible game. Because my WoW mindset would have said, fuck this game. I'm not playing this shit. You guys heard me. You literally just heard me. I was like, this is fucking sleep-inducing. This is boring. None of this makes sense. Why am I not fighting anyone? Why am I literally running around just handing in shit inside the city? And then you get to the combat bit and you have 2 spells that you can use on single target. And you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm basically standing around doing nothing. I was ready to quit. I'm going to be honest with you. I was ready to quit. The only reason I stuck with it is I promised myself I would do 10 hours of FF14. And then I would make the video on whether or not I thought Final Fantasy was good. So I promised myself 10 hours, and I stuck with the 10 hours, and towards the end of the 10 hours, I realized I've been playing the game completely wrong. I should probably revisit the way I play this game. I believe, who's it called? What's he called? Lazy Peon made the same mistake. What just happened? Oh. Wow, it's only coming through now? Wow, Twitch is having a fucking breakdown. That is so weird that it's only coming down now. Anyways, I appreciate the support. Thanks, guys. That is what actually really stood out for me, coming from free-to-play MMOs that you have to kill thousands to get levels. I thought that was exactly what the game was about. You know, all MMOs, like every single MMO that you could ever play, is exactly that. That's what they are. You kill stuff in order to get to max level, and then once you're at max level, you can start playing the game. And then in Final Fantasy, there's nothing to fucking kill for like the first hour almost, where you're just in cutscenes. And it takes a lot. It's really hard. I know for a lot of you that maybe isn't World of Warcraft X players, you probably don't even understand this. But believe me, coming from World of Warcraft where the whole game is at max level, to a game where the game actually starts at level 1 and the game is the story, it is so difficult to bring yourself to change your mindset to what you're actually supposed to be doing with the game. And kill boars. Dude, in every single quest in World of Warcraft is a quest that takes you to kill something. Every single time. You go around killing stuff. That's your job. In FF14. Alex, why do I feel like I already updated this leak and now... Did you re-upload it? I'm not sure. The React video. So I feel like I already wrote stuff here. But now I have to rewrite it all. Like, I already searched for Balulars. I already added his channel. I updated the description. Yeah, I had to re-upload it. Fuck. Why did you have to re-upload it? No. Sorry, guys. You guys are basically part of the admin at the moment. Uploading kept stalling. Oh, YouTube does that. YouTube fucking does that. Do people not remember how slow WoW's combat was in Classic? I don't think so. Because I mean, WoW has changed significantly over the course of time. But remember, in Final Fantasy, like, WoW's combat was slow because there was a lack of abilities. There was just no abilities to really praise. Most classes, for example, if you were a Warlock, even in TBC, if you cast anything other than Shadow Bolt, you were playing your Warlock wrong. Like, Shadow Bolt spam was how you played a Warlock. You didn't even need to have any of your dots up. You literally just wanted to have, like, Shadow Bolt spam. That was the game. Whereas in Final Fantasy, it takes a while for you to realize that actually the game is built to be... the combat is very much built for the game. There's a plethora of players that started at Kata and Mop. Yeah, I think it's there's very few people that actually started in Kata. That is also very true. It's I would say there's fewer people that started in Kata than there are people that started in Classic. Some of the people that did start in Classic went back to WoW Classic or quit World of Warcraft altogether. I would say the vast majority of players today probably started in Wrath. I would say Wrath is probably, like, Wrath babies would be the vast majority of the player base. And then fewer people would have started earlier. I know, out of all the players that I know, the vast majority started Wrath. In TBC Wrath. Every MMO I've played, I've compared them to WoW in all ways. Aeon, Terra, Wildstar, and a lot of them, Age of Conan, etc., etc. Final Fantasy changed that for me. Now I play 2 MMO, WoW Classic Season of Mastery and Final Fantasy XIV. They are different. built for different experiences, and that's how it stands out. Honestly, I did the same thing. I think every WoW player would ultimately compare. I did this with Rift. I played Terra for a while. I did the same thing. WildStar, played that for a while, did the same thing. You ultimately compare to what you know. Even with Final Fantasy XIV, I compared it in the beginning to World of Warcraft. Now, the good thing for Final Fantasy XIV was the fact that I didn't like World of Warcraft at the time, so it had the opportunity. With all of the other games that I played, all of the other MMOs that I played that in the past I would compare to World of Warcraft, I loved World of Warcraft. I gave those games a chance because it was a chance to play something other than WoW, but I still played WoW as well. So they never stood a chance. Whereas with Final Fantasy XIV, now that I'm as far in as I am, and I realize I'm not even at the best parts of the game yet, but now that I am so far into the game, I can honestly say that I will, for at least the foreseeable future, compare every single MMO that I start to play to Final Fantasy XIV. If the game can't even get the basics right, that Final Fantasy gets right, I won't play the game. I think I've been spoiled. Miku, how you doing, brother? I genuinely believe that Final Fantasy spoiled me. The story is just so fucking amazing. Why would I... Why would I play an MMO that doesn't have that good a story? Do we have any non-WoW players in chat? Mighty Random, I know you don't play WoW. Like, how many people do we have here that has never played World of Warcraft? Bikiast, I would say... Well, how are you doing, brother? Never touched it. You will never play a shitty MMO story again. True, Heathen Trucker. So fucking true. Me, myself. But, so yeah, I would say that I'm not entirely sure if I would... Like, we obviously can still change. But when it comes to RPGs, there are incredible RPGs out there. There really are. Like, Final Fantasy is going to have to do a lot to convince me that it can hold up to the storytelling of stuff like Mass Effect and things like Dragon Age, Baldur's Gate, even Cyberpunk, Witcher 3. You know, these are pure RPG games. You know, these are games that the RPG elements is strong within those games, and I don't know if there is going to be because what I love about those games is the choices that I have. You know, the fact that in Mass Effect, for example, I'm currently playing towards an ending that I'm not sure what ending I'm going to get because I lost track of the choices that I made and how many of those choices may be the choices that I used to do and they did in the past. So it's one of the things I love about those games is the amount of choice that they afford me with to play the game. I would say that I would probably compare Final Fantasy XIV more to games like Cyberpunk than I would to pure RPGs. So I would probably compare it more to adventure games than necessarily pure RPGs. But like I said, I'm only in Stormblood now. So it might be the Shadowbringers comes around and I'm like, Jesus, okay, never mind. I'm completely wrong. So far, I am completely wrong on everything that I thought about Final Fantasy XIV. Like every single time I've said anything where I challenge FF14, it's managed to basically completely destroy what I thought was going to happen. But I would be surprised. Uriak, thanks for the first time chat, dude. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. Hey, Echo, decided to watch your stream for the first time after months and months of just watching your YouTube. Bro, welcome to the stream. Very happy to have you here. Crash, how you doing, brother? Also, I'm very sure you may be very surprised by the advancements the story makes. I don't doubt the fact that Final Fantasy XIV is going to have an incredible story. But if I'm going to compare Final Fantasy 14 to Mass Effect, Dragon Age, games like that, I don't know if that's necessarily a fair comparison. Because Final Fantasy will never be able to give you that amount of choice. You know, in Final Fantasy, you're never going to be able to choose the ending you want. So, are you really comparing apples to apples if you're trying to compare an MMORPG to a, you know, to a single player RPG? Or are you actually comparing two games that is allowed to go against one another? I feel like it's far better to try and compare. If you want to compare MMORPGs to single player games, it's probably best to compare them to adventure games where the story is laid out in front of you and you play the story. So if I compare Final Fantasy XIV to Cyberpunk, better. The story for Final Fantasy XIV is better than the story for Cyberpunk. If I compare it to, say, for example, what's the other game I thought about? Senua's Sacrifice, or A Plague Tale, or oh my god, come on! I just thought of another game that's also very adventure-esque kind of thing. You could compare Mass Effect and Fable to one another, absolutely, because Fable again gives you a lot of options that you can make that will change the way the game plays out for you, right? But I don't know if it's fair to try and compare it to Skyrim. Would be another RPG, like a pure RPG. So I don't think you can really compare Final Fantasy XIV to something like Skyrim, because you're comparing apples to oranges. Yes, they're both RPGs, but because MMOs are a sub-genre of RPG, they fall more into the adventure games. Tomb Raider is a game that you can compare to Final Fantasy XIV because, again, has a phenomenal story, but not really choice. You don't choose how Tomb Raider is going to end. You play the story, you see the story, and the story is fantastic. But you don't really get to choose the end of the game. There are no choices. There's missions, stuff that you do, and story to unfold. So it would be, I think it would be, I don't know how it would go if you tried to compare those two. FF14 is definitely different from those, but FF14 has a story, definitely blows many of my other favorite stories out of the water. If we're only comparing it to stories, that's a whole different discussion. Because, yes, I can say in terms of story, Final Fantasy story is right up there with most of my favorite MMOs. It is a phenomenal story. It has a phenomenal story, and the way they tell the story is absolutely insanely cool. But again, I wouldn't compare them directly to other RPGs. I could compare them to the stories of other RPGs. That is definitely true. A story, which is more common in JRPGs, I'd say. It could be. Sin, thanks for the first time chat, dude. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think that could definitely be the case. That most Final Fantasy games, I've never really played a Final Fantasy game, so I don't know how those stories go, but they're probably closer to adventure games than what they are to RPGs. So they might actually classify more as RPG adventure. Because I would say Tomb Raider probably classifies as an RPG adventure. Because there is a sort of method of role-playing within Tomb Raider. Tora, that is definitely on the list of things that we should play. And I think you can absolutely compare Final Fantasy XIV to any RPG adventure game. But I don't know if you can compare it to a pure RPG. Because in pure RPGs, it's oftentimes not even as much about the story as it is about the choice and freedom and your the player agency that you have within the story, you know? Arkanox, how you doing, brother? Single-line stories. Yoshi P came from Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is a single-line story, no choices. It's the #1 RPG in Japan. MMOs will probably never have the amount of choices that a solo RPG, but if games were always like that, they want to tell you one story and let you get out of your way too much. Well, again, it's why I sort of say RPG adventure game. Because it is an RPG. It provides you with freedom, it gives you progression, there is a manner of roleplay within the game, but it's not a pure RPG. It doesn't provide you with that choice that you get to make. And Cyberpunk, for example, you do get a choice. You get a choice of about 3 or 4 different endings in Cyberpunk. The difference is that most of those endings are decided by a single quest line. There's one quest line towards the end of the game that decides the kind of ending that you're going to get. And that's it. That really is how much your decisions matter. So I would again throw that more towards RPG adventure.
JRPGs games, up to 9, that is, are basically adventure games with a world map feature that lets you take detours and undertake side quests outside of the main story. But the main story is the main story. Your choice is basically your party, and the dialogue changes from said party. But that is basically it.
Again, I think Final Fantasy does a great job of competing against story games in general, whether that be RPGs or RPG adventure games or whatever. They are brilliant story games. But if you compare Final Fantasy as a game, as an RPG, to something like Mass Effect, Final Fantasy cannot be compared that way. I think you're doing Final Fantasy a disservice. It was never designed to compete against Mass Effect. If they wanted to design it that way, I'm sure they would have. One MMO that tried to do that and failed to the point where they had to change it was Star Wars: The Old Republic. They tried to go the pure RPG route with the game, and it ended up causing a shit ton of crap, you know, because at the end of the day, you can't have an MMO as a pure RPG. It's a shared world. In shared worlds, stories have to be kind of fixed. So I personally think... I don't think I would compare Final Fantasy to my favorite RPGs. I think it's also... You could probably say... You have the more Eastern-style RPGs, and you have the more Western-style RPGs. Western-style RPGs, you are correct, Miko, they're about choice. The choices you make will influence the outcome of the game, because that's what makes them fun. JRPGs, on the other hand, or Eastern RPGs, tend to be more, here's the story that we want to tell, we'll give you certain choices within that story, but ultimately the story we want to tell is the story that we want to tell. This is our story, and we want to make sure that we tell that story. And those are two different types of games that I like existing. I love when I play a game that just has a story that it wants me to see, and I get to see this amazing sort of animated movie series, you know? Like, it's a movie, basically. You're basically playing an animated book. I love that. It's so much fun, because it's a book with visual graphics. But then I also do love my more freedom choice-style games, where it is a book, but it's more like a build-your-own-adventure book. You know, you guys remember those books where if you make this choice, go to page this. If you make this choice, go to page that. It's more Western-style games is more that kind of book, whereas Eastern-style games is more, this is the book, there's 300 pages, read it. And every page will follow the previous one. And I think both has to exist. Because sometimes I love my games where I get to make a bunch of choices. Sometimes I just want a game that gives me a good story. Other times I want a game that has no story and just allows me to build a fucking a base with a bunch of people in it. You know, different games on different times. It depends on how you feel. Like Arabian Nights? Probably. I don't know. RPGs are role-playing games, and that's what FF14 and Mass Effect are. They're just they just have different styles of doing so. Supercider RPG is sort of a category name, yeah. Zerx, thanks for 200 bits. I'd really appreciate it.
Old school Final Fantasy games were turn-based RPGs with drop-down menus as combat. So really the only true Final Fantasy style online service RPG is Final Fantasy XI, and SEI has been neglecting that for decades in favor for catering to 14. It's so neglected that you have to download and unpackage a zip file still.
Oh, shit. I mean, to be fair, I don't think drop-down combat is going to work for many people. But what was I going to say? So RPG is a category. Within RPG, you get subcategories. MMOs is a subcategory of RPG. JRPG is a subcategory of RPG. All RPG really stands for is role-playing game. And almost any game can be a role-playing game if it provides you with freedom of choice. And that freedom of choice will determine, or that freedom can be determined by what you get freedom in. So do you have freedom in how you want to build your class, or how you want to gear your class? Or do you have freedom in, for example, what kind of parties you wish to build, right? Things like that. So it's sort of, there should be a role-playing element to the game. There should be a choice element to the game. And that choice can be determined, which is why I usually use the word pure MMO when I talk about games like Mass Effect, Baldur's Gate, Dragon Age, things like that, because those are pure MMOs. Those are pure RPGs, excuse me. They're games that take role-playing and freedom to a whole new level. They give you freedom of choice within the story, freedom of choice within how you want to build your character, freedom of choice within what class you want to play, things like that. So they take choice and they put it in every single element of the game. You have choice. Pure RPG. And then CRPGs, for example, would be Baldur's Gate, again, a subcategory of that. But I don't know if you could say that something like Dragon Age or Mass Effect would qualify as CRPG, because it really was CRPGs that made the RPG genre famous. Yeah, D&D would be an example of tabletop RPG, but still pure RPG, in that the choices is completely yours. And games like Mass Effect, games like D&D try to mimic D&D just in different styles. And then, of course, your more pure D&D stuff would be Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter Nights, Icewind Dale, things to that effect. Those would be your pure D&D RPG. Or your CRPGs. We need to play D&D. We did. Last year. We did a couple of every week we would meet for a D&D campaign. They were good fun, but they don't work as well for streaming. I found them a little bit less fun to stream. But there are people on the Discord, by the way. If you guys are really into D&D, Morny, Alpocalypse, there's quite a few people on the Discord that love running D&D campaigns, either one-shots or longer campaigns on Discord. So you're more than welcome to join the Discord and grab. Just tell people you want to do a D&D campaign. I promise you there will be people that sign up. If I can find time in my life, I promise you I will do another D&D campaign, but I need to find the fucking time to actually do it, which is not easy. So yeah. The turn-based combat thing, I can see, Sin. The first FF game being inspired by D&D with turn-based combat, that is very D&D-like. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever played the first Baldur's Gate. Who here have played Baldur's Gate? Matey, by the way, thanks for the first time chat, dude. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do we have any Baldur's Gate players in chat? Arcanox, we just met Yotsuyu. At all 6 CDs, Baldur's Gate 3 is also turn-based. True, but like the first ever. So Baldur's Gate 3 went back to like almost the D&D with graphics. because it's pure turn-based. You actually click in turn, and you actually have to roll dice and things like that. But the original Baldur's Gate stuff, it was so funny to see the rolls take place in that game, because it was start pause, but there was no end turn button. You would see every single character on the board during combat get their turn automatically. It would sort of, it's this character's turn now, and you can see a roll. Does it hit? Does it miss? It hits. Is it a crit? Is it not a crit? And then it hits. And then you see everyone around the fucking room roll, but it all happened automatically. So now with Baldur's Gate 3, obviously, they've gone back to the more, when your turn is on, and you click end turn to move to the next character. But those games were stupidly fun. I never played a lot of Neverwinter Nights. I felt like Baldur's Gate was a hell of a lot better than Neverwinter Nights. Anything in chat here before? I watched like so many VODs of the FF14 playthrough after I found this channel through Asmongold's, yet another reaction video. Dude, I really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. I had more fun watching the rolls than anything else. Just about to go meet the Kojin of the Blue. Oh yeah, we are actually just on the road to the Kojin of the Blue. Because we promised that we would kill the Kojin of the Red if they would help us after that. So we'll see if they actually end up helping us. Who's going to play Chris Mateson's new tabletop D&D game or tabletop RPG game? Because I believe he's working on a tabletop game as well. Would you like to watch what FF14 almost became until Yoshi decided to change design direction during 2.0 alpha? It's a YouTube video. Xerx, are you talking about the no-clip documentaries? Because we already watched those. They were stupidly interesting. I thought they had roles in Baldur's Gate 3 for stuff like skills and combat. They do. Baldur's Gate 3 went straight back to like full-blown D&D. So the only thing that isn't rolled for is physical combat. That's automatic rolls. So when you hit the spell that you want to cast or the thing that you want to cast, it will do a roll automatically to ensure, right? Or to figure out whether you've hit or crit or how much damage you're going to do, stuff like that. But if you come across... so I played a little bit of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm just waiting for the full release before we'll play the full game. But if you hit, like, for example, a pick, like a lock that you want to pick, and it is on your level to pick, you actually have to roll the dice to figure out whether you could pick the lock or not, So it gives you... It's like a slow playing game, but it's really fun. Raw gameplay. If you want me to react to content, Xerx, link it in content suggestions. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is 5th edition, yes. Tritoluster, kind of in the same as BG3, but made by a more indie studio. Really good and faithful to the D&D 5e rule set. I have never played Solasta, but I could definitely give it a go. I love games like that, like classic CRPG kind of stuff. I've been avoiding it until its full release or until they add monks. Yeah, I've not been, like, I played a little bit of it. We played about, I think, what was it, chat? 8 hours on stream? And then I moved away from it specifically because I was like, wait a second, I'm having a ton of fun in this game, but I would like to be able to play all of the chapters when it's out. I don't want to play the first chapter and then, now I have to wait for it again. I played a little bit of Pathfinder Kingsmaker. I have that on Steam, and it was okay. I don't think it was the greatest game I ever played. I sort of lost interest with Pathfinder, where I had to build my kingdom. I got really bored with that. Because at that point, it started feeling like less of an RPG and more just go out, do quests, do missions, come back with resources, and build your kingdom. So maybe I misunderstood it, but I didn't enjoy that part of it. Wait, people in Japan refer to green as blue? Surely not. Trying the Pathfinder, they vastly improved lots of the annoying parts of Kingmaker. Also no kingdom building in it. I know Morny, one of the mods of the channel, plays a shit ton of Pathfinder. Or did. I don't know if he still does. Yes, but only for traffic lights. Chinese, Korea, Japan had some issues with blue and green. What do you mean issues with blue and green? Could they not tell the difference? Or did they just think that that color that we call green should actually be called blue? They use the same name. Why would you have the same name for two different colors? That doesn't seem smart to me. Oh my fuck. Alright, guys, I'm quickly gonna go stretch, go to the bathroom to pee, get some more tea, and then when I get back, we're gonna be playing some Final Fantasy 14. Alright? I'm gonna be playing ads right now, so go grab a coffee, go grab a tea, do whatever you have to do. Because when I get back, we're going straight into Stormblood because we have to go kill the Kojin of the raid. Because, you know, it has to be done. Because we have to stop the hottest villain I've ever seen in my life. I'm still conflicted. Maybe we can save her. Maybe she's not beyond redemption. I know she killed a bunch of Doma people, but perhaps we can still save her. Because that would be waifu. Like Yotsuyo, or however you pronounce her name, she is the ultimate waifu. But okay, I'll be back in about 5 minutes, 6 minutes at most. Just gonna make coffee, take a pee, and stretch for a bit. I mean, English is a lot of words that are spelled the same but have different meanings. I can assume it's just as confusing for Asians back then. Probably. I can fix her. I can fix her. Bro, I can fix her. Just give me a couple of weeks and I'll figure her out. What do you mean, oh no, not you too? Dude, Yotsuyu. Fuck. That fucking name, dude. But Yotsu is crazy hot. Absolutely crazy hot. How can any guy not want Yotsu? Yotsu, whatever the fuck her name is. See, I told you I'll forget it again. I think you're the first streamer I've seen who can correctly pronounce the sound in Yotsu instead of saying Yotsuyu. Every other streamer I've asked to say it the same, but of course, she's hot, dude. You can't fucking take away from the fact that she is hot. From Mool, thanks for the follow, dude. Really appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Thank you. Step on me, please, dude. Anytime. She is crazy hot. Sun, thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it. All right, let me go grab a pee. Let me go grab some tea and stretch a bit, and then I'll be back. All right? So go grab something, get up, don't sit in front of your PC the whole fucking time. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. People, we back. Could be behind what? The curtain. What would I be doing behind the curtain? Alright, there we go. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Appreciate the warm welcomes all round. Alright, time to... This video is never going to finish processing, Alex. We'll leave it. We'll leave it for now. Fucking hell, where's my phone? Here we go. Saya, how you doing? Dark Bunny, how you doing? Alright, just logging in now. They need to fucking streamline. What the fuck? No. It don't... Why does it not remember... Fine. Fine, I'll fucking search for it all again. I don't get this. Why would it not remember your password? Like, can Final Fantasy just update their launcher to be more like the Battle.net launcher? The one thing that Blizzard does well is the Battle.net launcher. You log into it once and then you never have to worry about it again. Because they want your money? Yeah, but if they want my money, they should give it to me fucking... They should make it easier for me to give it away. Not harder. It should be easy. It's not easy. Is there anyone that likes the FF launcher? I don't think so. I don't think there's a single person that cares about that fucking launcher. I think most people would agree that the launcher sucks dick. Although I must say the launcher is nowhere near as bad as the what's it called? The website. The Mog Station is the worst. Like, hands down, the Mog Station is the worst. You need your money, but if I didn't care about your time. Semi-Coon, thank you very much for the first time chat. Really appreciate it. Welcome to the channel. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very true. Although, I think Final Fantasy XIV also wants your money. They're willing to work for it. You know, they are willing to put in some effort. This remembers, doesn't it? There's a remember feature, if I remember. I literally just looked at it. There was no remember feature. Unless that remember feature is hidden behind some kind of option wall. Play on Steam, no problems whatsoever. Maybe it's me. If you play on Steam, you have to... Oh, for fuck's sake. If you play on Steam, every single time you say launch game or play, and you launch the game, it launches the launcher. And then you have to log in and then you can play the game. I would like to log in and not have to worry about, like, logging in again for, say, a month. You want to remember password? There's an external method. I have the external method. I decided not to use it because it didn't want to work yesterday. Was too late when I bought it on Steam? What do you mean was too late? Too late for what? Password, but it remembers my SE username. Yeah, the username is remembered, the password isn't. And I used a different password for every single program that I own. Like, every website that I have, every program that I own has a unique password. There's no way I'm remembering it, so I can't type it in. I have to go to where it's saved and grab it there. So it's just an extra step that really makes it fucking really horrible. Do you know the East Ardenald Trading Company then? I hear they're a fairly prosperous vendor where you are from. To be fair, when I bought it was on sale, so it was really cheap. What did you pay for it, Shahrazad? Your acquaintances with the Kugani branch office owner. Oh, the chief's been searching high and low for a well-connected man such as yourself. Oh, but before we get into that, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ansaku, and you would be? 14 launcher I use, doesn't remember password. I also use the software token because I'm cheap and want the free teleport etherite in-game. What do you mean software token? You mean the token system on your phone? Yes, I do like the Viceroy character. Of course I do, Pringles. She's hot. How can you not like her? Yotsuyu. Yotsuyu. Yotsu. I love Yotsu. Akalon. That should be easy enough to remember. Now, Akalon, do me a favor and meet with the chief, would you? Ever since those damned Gallians strengthened their grip on Hungashi, our contacts in Kugani have quit trading with us. He could really use your help in establishing a new business partner. Please, I wouldn't ask if I wasn't desperate. You see, I only just joined the Confederacy. Life has been hard, really hard for me lately, and if things were to fall apart here, I'd have nowhere to go. To the west of this place is a tiny lodge. The chief should be there. Unfortunately, I cannot leave my post to show you there, but I trust you'll find it easily enough. I'm counting on you, Akalon. One can see who's watched some anime in their lifetime and who hasn't. Anime watchers nail their name on the first time. Yeah, because you're all fucking weebs. Under the Sea is the main quest line. Where am I going for this quest line? Oh, not that far. Yotsuyu. Yoti, like boat? Wait, why is her name Boat? There's no hate for weebs here, by the way, but you guys are a bunch of anime watching weebs. Don't even deny it. Someone sent him the clip about Yotsuyu cosplayer and Yoshi P. Oh, please do. Can I see the clip with the Yotsuyu cosplayer? Gentlemen, since you refuse to pay the ruby tithe with coin, you shall instead be paying with your blood. I believe an arm each will suffice. Wait, we're with the East Aldenard Trading Company. I suggest you think twice about this. When word of this gets back, you'll be the ones to pay. Yourself, mate? Burn the weebs? Fuck you, bro. How dare you? You can ride it like a boat? Yes, please. She is a hot bro. Oh? You should have said so sooner. Suzumi, see that our distinguished guests are escorted to our best room in the dungeons. I shall go and sharpen my knives. You heard the man. The breach react. Give him the breach react. Step on me, please. All right, hold up. I need to see this.
Team designed the.
All right, so 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Yotsuyu is hot as balls. The cosplay is really well done. Let's see.
Team designed the character, but looking at what you have done with your costume, especially with your hair, the details of your embroidery, everything is so accurate. Even the makeup, the neck details, everything has been recreated so close to what's in game. So we were very impressed.
Step on me, please.
Oh shit! Step on me, please. Holy shit!
Applause, please. Amazing cosplays.
That is a good cosplay. It's nice because it's muted. It's not like you would see with most cosplays that is sort of very much out there. It's more muted. But just judging by the people standing there in the background, It seems like the Final Fantasy XIV community take their cosplay very fucking seriously. This is a fan fest in the lead up to Stormblood launch. At the time, we've only seen Yotsuyu in promotional stuff. So no one knew whether or not Yotsuyu was going to be evil or not, right? To be fair, Sherazad, I don't even think... If I remember correctly, the BlizzCon cosplays, I don't even think the developers for World of Warcraft is part of the cosplay events. The cosplay events are usually presented by someone from the community. It's not like here where you get... like, you can hear that there's developers that sort of giving feedback on this. So